There's a moment when everything goes still. No music, no touch, no distraction, just silence. And in that silence, you feel something awaken, not in your body, but somewhere deeper. You see, we live in a world that's always pushing, get more, want more, touch more. But what happens when you choose the opposite? When you stop chasing, when you say no to the noise? Carl Jung believed that true transformation begins not in action, but in abstention, when the body quiets and the soul begins to speak. And right now, maybe, you're at that point, where you've chosen solitude. Not because you're broken, but because something inside you is shifting. This is not about religion, not shame, not purity. It's about power. A silent kind of power that grows when you don't give yourself away so easily. In today's video, we're exploring the hidden psychological power of abstinence and what really happens when a woman walks away from physical intimacy and chooses instead to be alone with herself. And here's the thing. The final truth we'll reveal at the end of this video might just explain a feeling you've been carrying for years but never knew how to name. Take a breath. Let go of what the world expects from you. This is your time. Let's begin. Most people think abstinence is just about saying no, but they miss the deeper truth. It's not a rejection of intimacy. It's a return to self. When a woman stops giving her body away casually, something inside her begins to heal. Her boundaries grow stronger, her clarity sharpens, and her energy, it becomes magnetic. Carl Jung would say, "You're not just what you show the world, you're also what you withhold." And here's what no one tells you. Abstinence doesn't make you weaker. It makes you untouchable to anything that doesn't honor your worth. You walk differently. You speak with certainty. You don't beg to be chosen. You choose. That space you create in silence, it becomes a mirror. It shows you the real reasons why you settled, why you clung, why you accepted less than you deserved. And when those truths surface, they don't just hurt, they liberate. This is the part most people run from, but not you. Because you know deep down, what's on the other side of discomfort is power. And just wait. Because later in this video, we'll reveal the one moment during abstinence that changes everything. Most people never realize when it happens. But if you spot it, you'll never feel the same about your past or your future. Abstinence isn't a punishment. It's a sacred pause, a quiet rebellion against everything that tried to convince you you were only worthy when you were wanted. It's not about fear of connection. It's about filtering what deserves to reach you. Because something happens. When you stop letting attention validate you, you begin to see who's really interested in your soul, not just your skin. The texts slow down, the fake compliments vanish, the distractions fade, and what's left? Silence. But in that silence, you meet yourself. The parts you silenced to keep someone else comfortable. The dreams you buried to seem more agreeable. The standards you lowered just to feel loved. Carl Jung called this the confrontation with the shadow. The moment you stop blaming others and start reclaiming every fragmented part of you. And here's where it gets interesting. Once you stop chasing validation, the world starts chasing your energy. Not because you asked for it, but because now your energy speaks louder than your presence. You don't need 1,000 likes. You need one moment of deep self-respect. That's the shift. That's the real glow-up. And hey, if you've felt even a small echo of this in your own life, you're right where you need to be. There's more to uncover. So keep going. And if you ever feel like you're walking this path alone, you're not. We're here with you. Now let's go deeper. There comes a moment when solitude stops feeling lonely. It starts feeling sacred. Because you realize Not everyone who touches your body deserves access to your spirit. Abstinence becomes your boundary. A quiet way of saying, if you don't come with peace, don't come at all. You stop auditioning for love. You stop lowering your voice to be heard. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into boxes you were never meant to fit in. Carl Jung believed that when the body becomes still, the unconscious speaks. And guess what? Most people never make it that far. They run from the stillness. They chase distraction. They mistake silence for emptiness. But you've stayed. You've listened. And in that listening, you've begun to rebuild a relationship with the most important person in your life, yourself. Let me tell you a secret. True beauty isn't magnetic because it's loud. It's magnetic because it's at peace, and peace is powerful. When you're not available to everyone, you become irresistible to the right ones. People can feel it. Your energy isn't scattered, it's focused. And something interesting happens. Your silence begins to speak louder than all the noise they're used to. And by the way, if you've been quietly evolving without needing to explain yourself, that's power. The kind of power that doesn't chase, it attracts. Stick around, because by the end of this video, we'll uncover the one sign that your energy has become too valuable for anything shallow to reach. But first, take a second. Breathe in this moment. And if your soul feels seen right now, you're not alone. And yeah, this is the kind of space that grows with you. So don't be surprised if you keep coming back. There's a myth out there that if you're not active, you're missing out. Missing out on what? On attention that's temporary? On connections that drain you? On validation that vanishes the moment you walk away? Here's the truth. When you choose abstinence, you're not giving something up. You're reclaiming your power, your time, your energy, your peace. They're no longer up for grabs. And suddenly, the world starts reacting differently to you. People who once treated you casually start second-guessing their approach. They feel it. You're not playing by the same rules anymore. You've stopped chasing chemistry and started demanding connection. You've stopped being impressed by attention and started valuing presence. Because you now understand, the real intimacy starts way before the physical. It starts in the way someone listens, in the way they respect your boundaries without needing to be told twice. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." But you're not resisting the world. You're just refusing to give it pieces of yourself that were never meant to be handed out so easily. And that's why your silence is no longer empty. It's intentional. That's why your distance isn't rejection. It's redirection. People don't know what to make of someone who doesn't need them. Someone who's not available on demand. Someone who's so full within, they don't shrink in the face of solitude. That's you now. And remember, true strength doesn't scream. It simply doesn't bend. So if your presence feels heavier these days, if people are starting to notice something different about you, don't shrink. It means you've stopped leaking energy and started radiating purpose. Hang tight, because in the next part, we'll uncover a quiet shift that happens when you choose inner peace over outside approval. And trust me, once you feel that shift, you won't want to go back. You'll start noticing something subtle. People begin treating you differently. Not because you changed overnight, but because your energy did. You're not louder, you're calmer, not colder, but more distant. Not bitter, just sharper. And it confuses them, because the version of you they used to know, the one who said yes just to keep peace, the one who explained herself again and again, she's not showing up anymore. Now your silence speaks volumes. Your eyes say, "I see what you're doing, I just choose not to play anymore." That choice, it creates tension. People start wondering, did I lose access to her? And the answer is, yes. But not because you're angry, not even because you're hurt. It's because you're healed. And healing comes with boundaries, not walls, but gates. And those gates don't open for everyone anymore. They open for those who bring peace, not chaos. Truth, not tricks. This is the phase where your glow changes. Not surface-level glow, but the kind that makes people look twice and wonder what shifted. You smile less, but when you do, it's real. You talk less, but when you speak, people listen. And that's power. It's not in how many like you, but in how few can shake you. You see, choosing abstinence isn't about denying pleasure. It's about redefining it. It's choosing the long term over the instant, the soul connection over the physical fix. And once you taste that depth, surface won't satisfy anymore. In the next part, we'll go deeper, into the hidden emotional clarity that comes when your focus isn't scattered and your energy stops leaking into the wrong hands. Stick around, because this next truth, it's one nobody talks about, but everyone needs to hear. There's a peace you reach when you stop chasing chaos. It's quiet, almost boring at first, but then it becomes addictive. No one's texting you at 2 a.m., no drama, no guessing games, no mixed signals, and that silence, it doesn't feel lonely anymore. It feels sacred, because your soul finally gets space to speak. You begin hearing things you've never noticed before, like your own thoughts, your real needs, and that tiny voice whispering, "This is who you are when no one's watching." That's not loneliness, that's alignment. Most people never sit in silence long enough to meet themselves, but you did. And what you found wasn't emptiness, it was power. Real power is not in being desired. It's in being discerning. You're not available to just anyone anymore. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're aware. You now understand that energy is currency, and every conversation, every glance, every moment of your attention costs something. So you invest it wisely. And here's the twist. The more at peace you become, the more chaotic people get around you, because you no longer play their games. You don't react, you don't explain, you don't beg to be understood. You just are, unbothered, unaffected, unmoved. And that drives them insane. But you've tasted serenity, and no validation, no attention is worth losing it again. In the final part, we're going to reveal the ultimate hidden benefit of abstinence. The one shift that transforms your entire connection with love, self-worth, and clarity. Trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. The final, most revealing sign. The one that often hides in plain sight. He avoids eye contact, but not out of disinterest. It's the opposite. He looks away, because the feeling is too strong, too real, and holding your gaze feels like baring his soul. This isn't shyness, it's vulnerability. It's the kind of emotional overwhelm that happens when someone feels too much, but isn't ready to face it. Carl Jung believed that what we repress the hardest reveals our deepest truth. And sometimes, when a man is truly in love but scared to admit it, he'll express it in reverse. Distance instead of closeness, silence instead of confession, glances instead of words. But these moments, if you catch them, are more honest than any love declaration. So now, here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed a man showing any of these behaviors, but pretending like nothing's going on? Tell me your experience in the comments. I'm curious to hear how many of you have seen this and wondered if it was just in your head. And if you want to go even deeper, click on the playlist that's now on screen. It's packed with videos that will help you decode the subtle signs of love, longing, and the hidden emotional world people rarely talk about. And hey, if content like this feels like it gets you, you already know what to do. Let's keep exploring the psychology of love, truth, and everything in between. Together. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.